Greetings gamers, Shaw here. Starting a new character can be exciting but also extremely overwhelming. Whether you are a new player or a veteran playing a fresh character, this process can be enjoyable. I am quite familiar with being in this position. While I have been maining Guardian Druid for the last 3 years, I've always been curious in exploring other classes and specs to grow my knowledge base of the tanking role. At the start of Shadowlands, I picked up Protection Paladin as an alternate character, and then in Season 2, I picked up Brewmaster as well. Now in Season 3, I play 5 of the 6 tank specs at the caliber of Keystone Hero, meaning 3 KIO. So join me in getting that 6 tank started in this Zero to Hero challenge. Most of you should be familiar with the Zero to Hero challenge. It's a pretty common series among the World of Warcraft content creators. But just in case you aren't familiar with the concept, it's where narcissistic people like me torture ourselves because we have nothing better to do. For your entertainment, of course. Hopefully. My goal with this series is to be focused on a tank that I'm not super familiar with. So introducing Protection Warrior. This is the character I am going to be doing this challenge on. So I hit 60. Where do I start? How do I improve? These are some core questions you might be asking yourself when starting a new class. So let us see. This series will hopefully follow my journey when approaching a new class, how I prepare myself for Mythic Plus, the way I gear, making a BIS list, learning to play the class, and of course, climbing the IO leaderboard. I'm pretty excited for this project. The end goal would be getting to Keystone Hero, which is 3k IO. Really quick, if you end up enjoying or liking this video, please consider tickling that like button. You know you want to. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. It's mostly for my ego. But regardless, enjoy the video. It's been a hot second since I've worked on my warrior. I personally like all my characters to be on the same realm. This makes the transferring of resources much easier, but mainly regarding gold. So let me cancel my health insurance payment for this month. It's totally going to be worth it. This shouldn't take long either. To the Blizzard store. Game upgrades, character transfer, boom. Easy peasy. Wait, order processing? Okay, alright, I guess back to Minecraft. Ignore my Minecraft tag. This is typically what I do whenever I have to wait in this game. This should kill a few minutes. It's probably done now, right? Sick. Alright, choosing the warrior. Realm, Area 52. Oh, mailbox is full. Shoot, stupid brew of the month. Alright, that should clear that up. See ya around, Kel'Thuzad. Let's try this again. Warrior, Area 52, accept. Alright, see. So there were some minor issues with the transfer process. Typical. Back to Minecraft. Making obsidian, running through tunnels. Ooh, slimes. Level 69. Nice. Alright, third time's a charm. Wait. What the fuck? Alright, I'm contacting Blizzard. This little Murloc sucks. He basically told me, turns out it can take up to 24 hours for a transfer to go through. Well, time to play the waiting game. 30 minutes later, it looks like my transfer went through. Time to pick a name. Thick Pancake. YOLO. Alright, let's roll. Oh, gross. Okay, so it's clearly UI time. I have a few add-ons that I need to quickly adjust. First things first, I like my map space to be clean. I use an add-on called Sexy Map. They have some great profiles you can use, or you can customize it yourself. Luckily, my viewport add-on as well is already set up. It's that black bar you see at the bottom of my screen. While it's odd, I do enjoy the extra space and the camera view angle that this add-on provides. I'm not going to go over it in this video, but I will have an older video that I've talked about this add-on in, and I will link that up in the corner of the screen. I like to move my chat box details and action bars down into this area. Ooh, A guild invite. Blade Storm with an edgy O in the word storm? Yes, please. Oh, it's actually active. Okay, stop being distracted. Anyways, speaking of action bar, let's set mine up. So the add-on I use is called Bartender, and I like it because I'm pretty happy with the Blizzard standard UI. This add-on allows me to remove some of the artwork and some unnecessary clutter like bags and EXP bar. At max level, I don't really find a use for these things. So naturally, let me disable some of the clutter, pet bar, status bar. I can shift over the extra action bar and of course just adjusting some of the bars in general. Once we have it set up, it's pretty much perfect, at least for my liking. So now let's quickly adjust our cast bars. I know that I'm on a warrior, but there are certain casts like mounting or some certain dungeon abilities like controlling loyal stoneborns, for example, or covenant abilities like fleshcraft. It's important to have this in a good spot for me. All right, now with this out of the way, it's time to set up our actual keybinds. There is a much easier way to do this, I know, but for fun, let's go through it. When in a position like this, I like to set up my keybinds to be almost identical to my main or other characters that I've played. In order to do this, I'm going to fill up my bars with random buttons. Don't worry, there is a method to this madness. Let's quickly set up the keybinds and then start adjusting my bar. Now that all my keybinds are set up, we are good to go. When setting up your keybinds, I always recommend trying to utilize whatever binds are going to be easiest for you. They will naturally differ between each player. For example, I use an 18-button gaming mouse, so I'm going to be abusing the modifier binds like Shift and Control and Alt to make it easy. This means that I can use the number 1 button for 3 keybinds instead of just for 1. For example, I can use the button 1, I can use Shift 1, and Control 1. This is completely subjective setup, and you should really do what's best for you. Alright, with that out of the way, let's clean up our bars and start setting up our abilities. First things first, Warrior Mitigation. So we have things like Shield Block and Ignore Pain. These are the first 2 abilities that I'm going to place on my bar. For Shield Block, this is going to be my number 4 button, and Ignore Pain is going to be my Shift 1. Mainly because all my other tanks use these same 2 buttons for their mitigation, so it's going to make it easier for my brain to actually comprehend. Next, we have our damaging abilities. This includes our Shield Slam and Thunderclap. These are going to be the primary ways I'm going to generate rage in order to mitigate. Similar to our mitigation, I'm going to place these on number 1 and the number 3 keybinds. After maining Bear, it's very easy to see some of the similarities between Warrior and Druid. Thunderclap and Thrash are almost identical, and Mangle and Shield Slam are comparable as well. They both have a charge-based mitigation with Shield Block and Frenzied Regeneration, and a spammable mitigation like Iron Fur or Ignore Pain, which are also off the global. They also both use Rage, and they're both the worst tank in the game. This makes it extremely easy for me to learn the basic rotation. Following this, we're going to place our resource dump on number 5. This is going to be our Revenge ability. Next, we have our 2 large CDs, including Avatar and Shield Wall, these abilities that will prevent me from dying and are going to be used to optimize my damage. Oh, and who can forget our Last Stand ability? This will go on Shift D, which is the same keybind I use for Survival Instincts on Guardian Druid, or Guardian Ancient Kings on my Paladin, or Fortifying Brew on my Monk, and you get the point. We want to try to keep our keybinds as similar as possible to our main characters, like I said before. We then have some abilities like Charge, Ravager, Demoralizing Shout, Hamstring, etc. These, similar to other keybinds, are going to be compared to other abilities on our other characters. For example, I always use Q for my kick and F for my taunt. I like to have important abilities like this really close to my resting hand position so I can react quickly when needed. This is more important than you might realize. Next, we... Get out of my way, Venus Trinus? God damn it, I'm recording a fucking YouTube video. Alright, let's finish up our binds real quick. I hope by now you get the point. What I'm mainly doing is going through and reading each ability, cross-comparing them to other classes I've already played or are familiar with, and setting up my bars around that. At the end of the day, keybinds will naturally change over time, or they will take time to get used to. For example, Intervene seems like a pretty unique ability. So I will probably constantly adjust this going forward. Part of me thinks I'm going to be making some pretty interesting macros or keybinds for this down the road. Spoiler alert. I know Kyrian might not be the most optimal player right now, but it is what I chose when I started leveling as Arms Warrior back in Season 1. So this will probably change in the near future. For the time being, we will put our Covenant ability on our bar and make sure that we are calling our chicken and placing our file on our action bars as well. Alright, I think that just about does it. Just 2 thugs ready to roll. As you can see, I'm pretty naked at the moment. Let's fix that. We are off to Zereth Mortis to start the gearing process. What the heck? Oh, never mind. I'm stupid. I haven't unlocked the zone yet. So I'm gonna cheat this part actually, since I've already completed this on my other characters. Skip. Yes, please. For new players gearing up a fresh character, you'll need to do this campaign. While it's a little longer, you do get a ton of renown from doing the first 3 chapters, which, now that I think about it, I probably should have done that. Shit. We are searching for a specific NPC named Haja. You can find him or her near the southern entrance to Haven. This man person sells bind on account consumable items that convert to 226 gear. He only requests 500 anima per item, and by the time you're level 60, you should have plenty of anima saved up. Luckily, I have over 100,000 on my druid alone, not counting, of course, my other characters. The best place to get anima is everywhere. World bosses, quests, dailies, keys, raids, etc. Almost anything you do will grant you anima, so you can quickly accumulate some 226 gear. Sadly, this gear is set stats, which means you can't keep re-rolling for better stats outside of maybe rings and necklaces. The good part about this is that you only need to buy the items once though. You could try hard and re-roll for tertiary stats like Leech, Avoidance, Speed, Sockets, and Indestructible, but we are just going to keep it simple, buy 1 of each item, 2 rings, 2 trinkets, oh, and also I guess 2 weapons for that sweet shield. Alright, let's see what we get. Boom, 226 item level and looking sexier than ever. More importantly, let's audit our stats. Well, in my professional opinion, and this is objective of course, this gear is hot garbage. It's pretty much all crit mastery. Warriors for sure want haste verse. So what can we do? Well, with extra anima we can reroll rings at least, so that's what I'm going to do. While this gear is garbage, it is totally fine for getting started. But something we also want to keep in mind as we progress this character. Ooh, socketed ring, let's go. Alright, what's next? Let's jump over to Subcreation. I've talked about this site recently in a previous video. I'll have it linked on screen here. The main reason we are using this site is to actually identify a few things. That's going to be talents, covenant choice, and of course legendaries. Since I already have progressed endgame content, I will have access to the Unity legendary, which allows me to wear 2 legendaries. If you are new or you aren't honored on your main, you'll actually want to continue the Zereth Mortis questline, complete it all the way through chapter 7 to get your Divine Unity belt. I'll be probably doing this later for renown purposes. Anyway, Subcreation, if we dig enough, it should unveil which legendary slots we want to aim for according to the data from top warriors in the Mythic Plus scene. It looks like boots and belt. Easy peasy. So I was torn at this part. I don't want to just simply grab 291 legendaries because I want to work for it on this character. It's supposed to be a gear progression I look forward to, so we're going to keep it cheap. I think 225 legendaries to start. That's it. We're going to jump over to the main and get a small endorsement from the other B-spec tank. We are searching first for the Shadowghast Waistguard. Ooh, never mind. That's a lot of gold. I'm going to stick to the 210 item level one. The power of the legendary is way more important than the item level, at least at the start. Missives are next. We want haste and verse. Let's snag a quick verse gem as well from my guild bank. I'm sure my guild master won't mind. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. An AH mount. Okay, I'm gonna stealth so he doesn't see me. Another great option for rich people is to buy a 262 crafted BOE item. These nowadays are actually pretty affordable. We can search for a versatile Solenium ring, and we are looking for haste. Fuck. I swear people dismount on purpose. Fuck that guy. Alright, to Orgrimmar we go. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yeah. Some crafted gear can actually have an added effect. Sometimes it's a main stat proc, sometimes it can be secondary stat buff, healing, extra damage, etc. Most of the time they cost a little extra. You don't lose any secondary stats, Just a small side note, you can only wear one single 262 crafted item. Just keep that in mind. So we're gonna snag this one and make one last stop, the bank. I'm an enchanter on my druid, so I have plenty of stocked materials to fully enchant my warrior. I like to have that little extra edge when I'm starting a new character because I know that I'm probably gonna be a burden to the rest of the group. All right, we're all set. Let's send it off to Mrs. Thick Pancake. Ugh. That honestly felt weird to say out loud. When I was writing the script, I was like, that's going to be funny. And then here we are. Ooh, look at that juicy gear. Let's go. All right, one last chore. Korthia. Having mains means that I have a ton of resources already. Something that we need for legendary crafting is Soul Ash. This stuff is crazy easy to farm now. Just head over to Torghast and farm away. I like farming +9s because it's quick. I can typically do a full clear in sub 8 minutes, sometimes even faster. Newer characters farming themselves might need to adjust to their gear or comfort level. Nonetheless, there are no caps on the resource, so grind away. I'm gonna head to Bonesmith Hyremere next. Remember this bullshit? I don't miss this. Anyways, Soul Ash. 20 boxes should be enough, right? Our last stop, the Rune Carver. First, I will mention that you're going to want to get your legendary power from the source. Luckily, I went through all of this back in the day, so we're just going to go for it. This process does get pretty boring. All right, this is it. The first stepping stone in my quest to be the thickest pancake in-game. The Unity Power. The legendary belt giving me access to the power from whichever covenant I call home. All right, now with my gear pretty much set up, we're off on our next adventure. Exmog. You gotta look good to be good, am I right? After spending way too much time here, I'm gonna just settle for this transmog. I'm not happy with it, but it's better than that broker garbage. All right, now the serious stuff. I want to test my abilities, so how do we do this? Well, we're gonna go kill Andros, the world boss of Zereth Mortis. The reason I'm doing this is because the boss can actually drop some decent gear. While it's not great for secondary stat purposes, this world boss's gear can be turned into tier via the Creation Catalyst, which is going to be a huge power spike once obtained. While I fully believe I can solo this large man, let's just find a group to leech off of some nerds who still kill this boss regularly. Group finder, let's go. We lost several good soldiers throughout the enduring fight. We slammed our shields and clapped our thunder. I even decided to tank Andros myself once he was sub 20%. And I must say, I was successful. Well, until a Blood Decay rip thread, but regardless, I was successful. Sadly, no gear, but I was able to walk away with some gold and a 252 conduit. Oh, shit. Conduits. Good segue, me. We ended this session at 227 item level, our 2 legendaries, and a dream. While I have made progress, my journey is going to be quite long. There are still a ton of things I still need to figure out, like conduits, and of course talents. My renown is still 48, like what the fuck. Not only that, but I need to start farming tier and other resources like Cosmic Flux and of course items. I need to draft a BIS list, so this is meant to be a series. So we are going to leave all of that for the next video. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. If you are looking forward to the next episode, consider subscribing. Not only will it notify you when I post the next video, but it also costs you $0, like none, nothing at all. And you can also unsubscribe at any time. Maybe once I fail my first key, or I discover the secret to